Is it time for gold to move over and make room for silver? What's up, everybody? Thompson Coin and Stamp here, and today we're going to be talking about this shiny stuff, gold, and this shiny stuff, silver. You know, prices have been up and down. Today, we're sitting at $38.78 per ounce for silver, according to kitco.com. If we go check out the gold price, we're sitting at $3,393.70. That's at 9:27 a.m. here in Oklahoma. If we go over here to APMEX, their prices are always a little bit different. Get off that. They're setting at $39.15 for silver and $34.11.20 for gold. Oh, $34.13 is what it's showing there. If you looked up there, it showed a little bit different. But, you know, what are we going to do with these prices doing like this? Are you still stacking silver? I still think there's, plenty of room for this precious metal to move. I think, $40, $50 is not out of the question. And according to an article by Matt Richardson over here at MSN, he says, should gold investors switch to silver as the price surges? So let's take a look at that article. Hope everybody's doing well today. He says, move over gold. The price of silver is also surging. Precious metal investors accustomed to a remarkable rise in the price of gold over the past 18 months have been surprised to see silver surge as well this last week. Got some milk spotting on this. Now, over $38 per ounce, the price of the precious metal is hovering around its highest point in more than a decade. Says, silver hasn't been this expensive since April of 2011, according to historic data from American Hartford Gold. But it's now more than double the $19 per ounce it was selling for in July 2022, for example. It says, get that in there. It says, the recent activity may encourage gold investors to make a switch. With the price of gold per ounce around a record of $3,400 per ounce, after all, and a wide expectation that it could rise to $4,000 per ounce later this year, silver can be purchased for a minor fraction of that price, and many of the same portfolio protections can be secured at the same time. But should gold investors really switch to silver as the price surges? Or is that a timely temptation better left ignored? Below, we'll break down what to consider before making any precious metal investment changes. I just want to throw out, I am not a financial advisor. This is just an article I'm reading off MSN. It says, should gold investors switch to silver as the price surges? There's no uniform answer to this question, nor should there be, as the benefits of precious metal investing, while broadly applicable, are also specific to the investor in question. For example, if you want a hedge against inflation and portfolio diversification, but can't continue to purchase gold at today's top price, then adding a more cost-effective metal like silver may make sense, especially now with the price rising and the potential for growth, for the growth high. Silver offers timeless protections at a fraction of the entry point price. Get this in there. It says, on the other hand, even with the price rising recently, silver's value is often considered finite. It's not the historically attractive investment that gold has been, nor is it likely to become so in the future. The article says there's a reason why gold is priced more than 8,000% higher than silver. Switching to a silver-heavy portfolio then is unlikely to be a smart move, even if you can afford to buy in greater amounts at a lower cost. It says the more applicable advice then is the traditional one. Precious metal investing should be limited to 10% of your overall portfolio. Get those in there. Gotta let some constitutional silver. It said to avoid crowding out other reliable income-producing assets like stocks, bonds, and potentially real estate. Take it for a grain of salt. If you want to invest in, fake, things there on the electronic, funds and stuff like that. You can buy, electronic silver, electronic gold, but there's nothing actually like holding it in your hand. It says, consider then not switching completely to silver as the price surges now, and instead explore your precious metal allocations overall. You may have a timely opportunity to shake up the precious metal portion of your portfolio to better exploit rising prices in both metal categories without having to stray into risky investing territory overall. Whether that means 5% in gold, 5% in silver, or some other allocation entirely, however, will be investor-specific call. Scroll down here. It says the bottom line. A rising silver price can be attractive for gold investors about to be priced out of the gold market entirely, but a total switch from gold to silver is unlikely to be the right call now, even with silver at its highest price point in more than 14 years. The article says instead use this rise in prices in the precious metals market overall as a catalyst for revisiting your precious metals allocations. You may be too heavily invested or not invested enough in one of these two metals, so it makes sense to explore both now, strategically position yourself before the price rises again. Again, that's an article by Matt Richardson from 3 days ago on MSN. Let me know what you think. Drop me a comment. Do you think it's wise, quit investing in gold so much right now and jump over into silver? Personally, like I said, I am not a financial advisor, but I see a lot of potential in silver. There's just so much, upside in it. Like the article said, it's a, low entry price point to be able to get into stacking. If you can find, constitutional silver like this, if you can find it out in the wild, you pay face value. This would be 25 cents. Otherwise, currently it's going for 22 to 25 times face value if you're going to buy this at, a coin shop or coin store just because of the silver content in it. And like I say, silver's setting at $38. Let's go back over here to Kitco. It's $38.82 per ounce. We had, hit $39 last week. We went back down. I personally think $40 is definitely within the realm of possibilities here pretty quick. So I'm still going to be trying to stack, a little bit here and a little bit there, because I think one of these days we're going to look back and, be like, man, I wish I could stack at $39 an ounce. Like, personally, I'm looking back to just, a couple of years ago where, I was thinking $30 an ounce was, a little bit pricey, and I wish I could get some at $30 an ounce. So let me know what you think. If you're still stacking at these prices, if you're kind of going to be out, if you think, if you're going to be, stacking more gold right now, if the price of gold really isn't, affecting your buying strategy, or if you've, kind of quit, stacking some gold, going more into silver. I know it is a dollar cost average thing. So, are you, instead of buying, full ounces of gold, are you going back down to fractional gold, something like that? Are you just stretching out your purchases a little bit further? Or, as the, article says, or question, are gold investors switching to this shiny metal right here that we love called silver? It's got so many industrial applications. So does gold, but, the silver is just, the cat's pajamas. Well, let me know what y'all think. Drop me a comment. Stay tuned every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for our weekly coin, roll, hunt, and chat. I appreciate y'all. Until next time, Thompson Coin and Stamp is out.